Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Schuylkill River Valley and Sidetrack Sunday number 2 for July 2021. Sorry about the little delay there. I had technical issues, in case you didn't guess. But then, of course, it wouldn't be my channel without some kind of technical issues. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the opening act. That was the Freddy King thing by Craig Thatcher, written in the style of the great Freddy King. So let me get started here. Off to my left, your right, I have the schedule up, the schedule of live streams and other shows. And yes, this is still the old one. And I almost didn't put this up tonight because the Sidetrack Sunday guys, the Community Roundhouse guys, especially Heath and Vinny, are probably sticking needles into little John 2 dolls at this point. But guys, I promise I'll have the updated schedule this week. So let's see who's in the house. We have quite a few people here. Let me scroll back up to the top. We've got, all right, well, let's see. Audio and video are out of sync. I do see that. 1 second. Let me see if I can fix that. Don't you just love it? This was all working well. Let me add this. And mute that. All right, let's see. How's this? Is this any better, guys? Hopefully my audio and video are back in sync. Yes, Heath, they were not. It looks to me like they're back in sync. I hope so. All right, let me just blame. Yes, Jason, I will just blame Heath, of course. All right, so let me get back to this. We've got Dwight Curley, Troublemaker Dwight Curley, Jason the Train Freak, Chris from Go Via or Go Home, Mr. Roy Eltham's here. Bill from New Fenris Railroad. Let's see. Who else is here? Dragon Lover 68. Good to see you. Jerry Satteralley. Good to see you, Jerry. Thanks for stopping in. I saw Brian from the Iron Horse Route was here earlier. I don't know if he's still here. Let's see, who else do we have? I know I've seen other people drop in. John Knopfels here. Good to see you, John, and Ron Moen as well. Let's see here. Digger Evans, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for stopping in. I know it's pretty late for you. Manny Fernandez, great to see you, sir. Joe Rader's here. And JD, Grandpa Rails, good to see you, JD. Our very own Tree, Mr. Rick Bailey's here. Artie from Osmerica Model Railroading. Good to see you, Artie. Let's see. Am I missing anybody? Oh, Heath from Humanity Junction is here. Good to see you, Heath. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision. Good to see you, Ian. Kyle Stevens is here. Good to see you. Let's see. Gary from Barn Full of Trains. Thanks for stopping in, Gary. Appreciate it. Let's see here. John 2618. Good to see you, John. Ray Bobo's here. Oh, that makes, I guess, the entire Sidetrack Sunday gang. And that can never be a good thing. Let's see, who else do we have here? Bob from PK&W Model Works. Great to see you, Bob. Thanks for stopping in. Steve 87th PSAP is here. I think I said hi to Kyle Stevens. Let's see, Melvin Fackler. Hi, Melvin. And it looks like I got, Hillbilly Railroad. Hi, Scott. Good to see you. And I think I got everybody. If I did miss you, I apologize. Welcome. It's really great to see everybody here. Heath just messaged me here that it was definitely not his fault. I'm not really so sure about that. Ron Bright's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in, Ron. So earlier in the chat here, I couldn't go back and find it, but Jason commented that I was asking for feedback, and I was opening up a can of worms. Well, I do realize that's a pretty dangerous thing to do with this group, but I do have a couple things in particular that I would like to get some feedback on. Let me make an adjustment here. Train Fan 120, thanks for stopping in. It's great to see you. And Jason agrees with me that Heath, it's absolutely your fault. So let's see what we have here. Okay, it's still not working. Why is that not working? Oh well. Okay. So before we get into the feedback here, I told Ray Boble that I would shout out. Sorry about that. I hope the audio is back. I guess I thought I had this all working. You should. Heath, yes, Rick. I get that. William Kennedy for Ray. Thank you very much, Heath. I think you guys should be hearing me now. At least I'm hearing myself in my headphones, or maybe that's just in my head. I'm not really sure which. Oh yeah, that's right, Heath. You hear voices in your head. We knew that. Anyhow, Ray asked me to shout out William Kennedy. He's got some decent content. Unfortunately, his channel is marked as for kids, so you can't leave comments. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it. So you can't leave comments or get notifications. Yeah, Jason, you're right. It is technically Heath's week, and I should have seen all the wrenches coming your way. You're absolutely correct. This wouldn't normally have been Heath's week, but Heath had a conflict this week, and I had a conflict last week, so we just switched. So anybody who was expecting Heath, well, you get me, and you're welcome. So back to Bill Kennedy. He's got some decent content. Like I said, you can't leave comments, but go ahead and over and check him out. Like I said, Ray found him, or he found Ray. I'm not really sure which way that went. Now let me switch to something here real quick to see if this is going to work. Might not. All right, let's see here. will work, and that will work. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so thank you, Steve. You're much happier with me. I appreciate that. If this is a precursor to next week, Rick, I think I missed something. Let's see. William has a 425 that earns a subscription in my book. That's from Lehigh River Subdivision. Let's see if this is going to work now. For some reason, that still isn't working. That's kind of annoying. Oh, well. Let's see. You know what? I just saw Robert from Flying Crow come in. I noticed that Chuck from CDP 1965 was in. I saw him earlier. And I just see Tim from CP 368 Productions is here. Welcome, guys. I kind of lost my train of thought, which really isn't hard to do. Okay, so I was asking for some feedback. This one kind of came up this afternoon. I wasn't really planning on this. Hey, Mark from M&M Rails. Great to see you. We're getting to the feedback now, Mark. Right, if John's issues keep up, Rick gets the next 2 weeks. I think I got most of them now. Whoever you are, Jason. Dwayne's Fork and Spoon. Great to see you, Dwayne. Okay, so I did mention that I wanted some feedback. I'm kind of glad all the STS guys are here because some of it has to do with them. This came up actually this afternoon. Yeah, you're right, it's STS. When I mentioned that I was looking for some feedback, he sent us this picture. Lost audio again? Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm sorry, folks. Let me fix that. I will. Let's see. Let me fix this. Yep. All right. Because the mic is not there. That's why. One second, folks. I'm getting it here. Maybe I am. Turn that off. Okay. All right. I really should know better than to make last-minute changes to things. Because I didn't go and change everything. Sorry about that again, folks. Pappy's here. Hi, Pappy. Great to see you. All right, let me try this again. So this afternoon, Heath sent us this picture, which he describes as a good depiction of Sidetrack Sunday. And I took umbrage with that because I know that Heath is known for blowing things up and seeing how far his Z-scale locomotives can bounce. Hey, Vinny, great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. And there might have been one or two very minor little derailments, but really, do you folks think this is a good representation of Sidetrack Sunday? Roy Eltham says accurate. Thanks, Roy. All right, now, this picture, of course, caused a little bit of a stir. Pretty much anything that is said in Sidetrack Sunday Hangout causes a little bit of a stir. So Jason sent this picture. Now, to me, this seems a whole lot more like Sidetrack Sunday than the first one. He says Z-scale bounces really well. Yep, you're right, Ian. The Dukes of Hazzard could have driven a train across that. I'm not sure I would have wanted to be in the train with him. Well, you like it, though. STS is fun. Well, thank you, Roy. It's supposed to be. You think this represents the audio on my stream? Thanks, Heath. I really appreciate that one. And Robert says it's a good representation of all of us. That might be more accurate. Steve 87th says he doesn't think so. There's still a good bit of track there. And Jason has an actual sidetrack. Good night, Kyle. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you being here. So, anyhow, that really wasn't the feedback I was looking for, but that came up this afternoon, so I thought I would share that. Let's see now the feedback that I was looking for. This really, I guess, has mostly to do with the Sidetrack Sunday guys. But as you folks can probably imagine, it's really next to impossible to have a serious conversation with the Sidetrack Sunday gang on Hangouts. You ask a serious question, and it stays that way for about 2 or 3 replies. And then somebody comes up with a corny joke. I'm not going to mention any names. You can probably figure out who that would be. And from there, it's all downhill. So anyhow, last September was the start of this version of Sidetrack Sunday. So we put out a Sidetrack Sunday 2020 commemorative car. It was a covered hopper. And for those who may not have seen it, yeah, right. If you think our shows are fun, you ought to see our off-camera chat. Anyhow, it was a covered hopper with our logos and the Sidetrack Sunday logo. So, of course, we were talking about doing this. You're right. Usually it revolves around trees, Heath. You're absolutely right. So September is coming up. So our 1-year anniversary is right around the corner, actually. So we need to come up with another car. We didn't want another covered hopper. We wanted to come up with something different, probably a freight car. And I don't think we're going to get into any passenger stock. But I was curious as to what you folks would like to see. What kind of car should we put out? I personally have always been fond of coil cars, but I was also thinking for this one we could do a center beam flat with some wrapped lumber loads. Evening, Almar. Good to see you. That would make it pretty easy. Flatbed with trees wouldn't be bad, Rick, but it'd be kind of tough to get our logos on there. That's why I was thinking a center beam flat with a wrapped lumber load. We could get our logos on the wrapping. Yeah, Bob from PK&W Model Works. Printing white is always the problem. We could certainly do an auto rack. There would be plenty of room on an auto rack to get our logos. You don't remember this conversation, Heath? We talked right in September. We talked about what we were going to do for this year. Of course, it deteriorated quickly, and we never got any further. So I just figured that that I would put everybody on the spot and talk about it here. Pappy likes the quill car. How about a broken nuclear waste container? That would fit with you guys. Interesting, Steve. Ian says an 89-foot boxcar. Let's see. Tim says it would be a good car to deliver Bailey's softwood someday. Roy likes the auto rack idea mostly because he's going to be running a lot of those. Hillbilly Railroad says a pulp hauling car. That's some ground up wreck. Okay, no problem. Dwight suggests a tanker. No, Heath, not recently. This was pretty much a year ago. And Roy also likes the center beam with loads idea. Trash hopper from Joe Rader. And Bob from P&K&W Model Works also likes the auto rack. Personally, I'm not a fan of the auto rack. I wouldn't vote against it if that's what everybody wanted. But that's a bit out of my era and really a bit too big for most of my layout. Good old boxcar. That's always a possibility, Jerry. Ray thinks a waste tank car. And Vinny and Ron Brights agree on a tanker. Artie from Awesome America suggests oversized stock cars. Jason says that he agrees with him. He likes the wood chip hopper. I've always liked wood chip hoppers. That would be a cool car to do. Anyhow, I didn't really expect to decide any of this tonight, but I figured we'd get a little discussion going and see where you go from there. Bob says the boxcar is the safest. Yeah, it's the safest. A circus car from Dwayne, that would definitely be Heath's choice, I'm sure. Intermodal, so we can swap around the containers. You know, a guy has a lot of containers. Yeah, I think we all know him, Heath. And intermodal would definitely be a possibility. A depressed flat with containers, that wouldn't be bad. Yeah, Jerry, that's the problem with the auto rack. I really wouldn't be running it, although I'd put it on my shelf and display it, so I don't have a problem with that. You might really want to think this. It's very difficult right now to get things. Yeah, I do realize it's difficult to get things, so whether we're actually going to be able to do it in September or not, who knows? But we do need to get started on it, so it's more fun to watch Jason apply them. Yeah, we're talking about decals, I'm sure, and yes, I agree. John Knopfel, last year we gave away an HO and an N scale, so pretty sure that's what we would be doing again this year. Container is a good one. Heath, it could go on a truck or a rail car. Yep, that's right. Jason says a spine car with 5 40-foot trailers. He suggests an SD70 Ace, and we can make one in each of our railroads. Trash cars from Jerry, and no pun intended. Yeah, somehow, Jerry, I find that hard to believe. That there was no pun intended, that is. All right, well, we're getting some pretty decent... You still haven't done your STS car, Jason? Come on, man. It's been almost a year now. Let's see. N-scale is the best from Heath. There's a few in here, I'm sure, that would disagree with you, Heath. 53-foot containers. Rick needs all the ego boost he can get. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, there you go. Jason, he says you can combine the 2020 and 2021 cars. And Steve87 suggests that Heath could give up some GG1s. He does have a few of them. We're getting some decent ideas here, and maybe we'll get the Sidetrack Sunday guys thinking about this. The other part two of this feedback is we did this in September last year, since that was the start of this version of Sidetrack Sunday. Let's see. Rory suggests a gondola with a scrap load, and the scrap load is a billboard signs of your logos. That's an interesting idea. Rick Belly needs an 89-foot boxcar all for himself. His has to be the biggest. Yeah, you know, I remember something about that in Bridges, Rick. Let's see. Yeah, I saw what one can do with N-scale last night on The Big Bang Theory, okay? Let's see. Okay, so we did this in September last year. That was the start of this version of Sidetrack Sunday. So logically, the choice this year would be September being the anniversary month. September this month has only 4 weeks. Well, I guess that would make it the easiest month to choose because we would just not have to worry about Rick at all. But both August and October are 5-week months. So we might want to pick one of those two, just to make sure we get Rick involved. And Heath is suggesting a caboose, and I'm surprised he didn't suggest caboose. So we could do who won the N scale. Wow, Dwight, I don't recall who won the HO scale either. Leslie Gilpin won one of them. I think Leslie Gilpin won the N scale. So anyhow, to the STS guys, we might want to consider either August or October because both of them have 5-week months. So then we wouldn't be leaving poor Rick out there in the woods all by himself. I guess he wouldn't be by himself out there, but oh, Dwight won the HO scale. Okay, so then it was Leslie Gilpin that won the N scale. I forgot that, Dwight. Cool. Let's see. That's the Sidetrack Sunday feedback that I was looking for. And I have some feedback for my own channel. I've been kicking around the idea of putting together probably a short series of videos on Arduinos. Mostly from the programming side. Not anything. He says the chances of us getting our stuff together by August is very unlikely, and I agree, Heath. That's only a couple weeks away. So we might want to consider October. And Joe says without a caboose, it ain't a train. Sean McGee, how are you? Great to see you. How about a mow crane? Our show seems to be always a wreck waiting to happen. That might not be a bad idea, Jason. How do you spell Arduino? Just the way you spelled it, Heath. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, I was thinking of a short series of videos, mostly on the programming side of it. Nothing too in-depth, nothing too deep. I realize that programming is not something that a lot of people are interested in. But there's enough people interested in Arduinos that I think the ability to read and understand the code involved would make it a whole lot easier. when you first look at Arduino code, it no doubt looks very very foreign. So I was thinking it might help people, those who want to get involved with Arduinos, to understand the basics of the code that they're reading. So when they're copying code or downloading something, it would make it easier for them to edit it and make it to do what they want it to do. It's tough for me to actually decide whether that's a good topic or not. It's interesting to me, but I've been programming for a very long time, and I recognize what the Arduino can do for me, and I want to make it work the way I want to make it work. Good point, Heath. 2 big channels in our niche have Arduino series, so someone finds them interesting. That's a very good point. But like I said, I find it interesting, but I don't want to bore everybody. I would keep this very light. Keep the jargon to an absolute minimum, and keep the technical side to an absolute minimum. But I'm just thinking it might help those people who are interested. Roy says it's a reasonable topic. Jimmy at DIY and Digital has done a bunch of coding stuff. You're right. Almar says a lot of people do Arduino videos and he still doesn't get it. Rick likes it. Al, maybe my approach would make it a little bit easier for you. I don't know. Hopefully. Train Freak doesn't know diddly Scott about when it comes to Arduino. Well, the key is, do you want to, Jason? Steve says code work would be good. Everyone skips that. Also tell people where they can copy codes from. All right, that's a good point, Steve. I could certainly add that. Coding on it, showing the code, editing, and such, he's done pretty well. You're right, Roy. Jimmy has done well with that. Let's see. I missed something there. Do we have a choice between the red or the blue pill? You always have a choice, Sean. All right. Well, generally it seems a positive response. I do have some ideas for probably 4 or 5 short videos. Nothing too long. Jason's going to stick to JMRI. If you really got into what an Arduino could do for your railroad, Jason, I think you might change your mind. And Ian says he does need to learn coding if he wants operating crossings. And Heath just mentioned the Raspberry Pi. Yes, that is, Raspberry Pi is definitely another option. Let's see. Were you expecting comments on the 2 photos as they relate to the state of and future? Or was not that? Yeah, that was pretty much the intent, Bob. Let's see. I've been coding in C, C++ since the mid-'80s. I'd probably watch though for Arduino specifics. Okay, Roy, I don't know that it would be an awful lot there for you. Arduino is C++. It's just a subset of C++. But I would love to have you watch and probably pick apart what I say. Let's see. Bob loves the series idea on Tune In. Great, Bob. I appreciate that. He says he doesn't think we ever expect to get serious answers around here. Well, I thought this was a slightly better chance here than on the Sidetrack Sunny Hangouts. That's just next to impossible. Anyhow, Heath had mentioned the Raspberry Pi. That's certainly another option. Similar to an Arduino, although Raspberry Pi is more powerful. And I may end up branching off and doing a series on the Raspberry Pi as well. But I'd like to start with Arduino. That's It's actually simpler for most people who have never done any coding or any real electronics, since really that's what the Arduino was designed for. Roy, if I want you for consulting on, let's go. I will keep that in mind, Roy. I appreciate it. This is my week, so don't expect much. Yeah, I do realize they were expecting you, Heath. So it was probably a breath of fresh air when you weren't here. Okay, Joe says no, he's not an electronics type. That's fine. It's certainly not for everybody. Let's see. Problem with the RPI is that it's running an OS and getting real-time reactions is rough. Well, yeah, there are certainly pros and cons to both the Raspberry Pi and the Arduino. But the Arduino was originally designed to get to introduce people to electronics and programming. It was a learning tool mostly for kids. Now, I do realize that kids pick up this kind of stuff a whole lot easier than people our age. But I really don't think it's that difficult. And I think if you understand what you're looking at, what you're reading, that it certainly would make it a whole lot easier. Let's see. Tom's Trains and Things. Good to see you, Tom. Thanks for stopping in. Although, if that's your feedback, that was probably the most helpful feedback I got all night. Joking, guys. Actually, you were a big help. Yeah, Tom, we've been talking about Arduinos. I guess that's why you popped in. Your ears must have been burning. John 7 from Mystic Southern Railroad. Good to see you, John. So Arduino is great for real-time stuff, and then you can use a Raspberry Pi with it for the system to avoid needing a computer. Right, exactly, Roy. That's a better way of handling it than just trying to do everything with the RPI. Raspberry Pi, sorry. Jason tried coding in college. It was not his forte. Like I said, it's certainly not for everybody. Let's see, what did I miss there? And Heath commented to Jason, so he became an IT guy. Right. He couldn't handle the programming, so he does the wiring part. Sean has so much trouble with Raspberry Pi DCC++ and JMRI that he's gone to DCC++ EX. Sparky 107. Good to see you, Sparky. Thanks for stopping in, man. And let's see, network admin. Well, yeah, that's IT. That's part of IT. Although network admins probably don't want to admit that. Let's see, Tom, that's the second time in the chat today I see someone say their ears were burning. Most Arduino code is free on the net now, so if you can copy and paste, you're all good. Yes, and if you're happy with pre-written code, that's perfectly good way of going about it. But once you realize that the Arduino is more powerful than that little bit of code is, Jake, great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. That's where you want to start editing it and adding it and making it work the way you want it to work. At least that's my way of thinking. Not for everybody. Steve 87 has trouble with peanut butter pies, but not raspberry pies. But he prefers cherry pie. Actually, one of my favorites was raisin pie that my mother used to make. Which actually very few people apparently have ever heard of. Apple cobbler, but I do not think it's a pie. No, it's not a pie. But, of course, Heath, you're going to be different. So, good lemon meringue's not bad. Key lime's not bad. And we're getting into a lot of good pies here. Pre-written code, then tweak it. Exactly, Tom. But it helps a whole lot if you know what you're reading and it makes sense to you before you try to tweak it. If not, it's kind of creating more bugs than you can probably fix. Lulu's has great pie. Lulu's has hogger pie. Shoe fly pie. There you go, Dwayne. James Galton, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Roy uses Propeller MCU boards instead of Arduino mostly, but he also has a few Arduinos. I'd like to at least start off and keep it relatively simple with Arduinos, just because that's if somebody's going to get into it for the first time, that's probably where they're going to go. Pi 3.14, the number that never ends or repeats. Right, Ray Central. Both the Pi and the track work are cool. Shoe fly. All right, so that's great. I got some great feedback. I think I'll work on putting together a couple videos on that. And Humanity Junction wants to see me run a train with an Arduino. All right, Heath. At some point, I will do that. Blackberry custard pie. Can't say I've ever had that, but it does sound great. Yes, Roy E is a coder. This chat conversation here makes me wonder why so many of my live streams end up turning into discussions of food. I mean, this happened at least twice before. Now we're into pie. It might have been pie the last time. I'm not really sure. Let's see. The railway will soon restart. Okay. Video games. Oh, that's it. I thought it was something entertainment related, Roy. That's pretty cool. I never did any video game programming. My programming has mostly been business applications, which kind of makes sense, I guess, since the other half of my career is I own a tax accounting firm. What was it before they had microprocessors? It was like a series of relays to control industrial equipment. Blanking on the name. Fresh Roux Pie. Don McLean's American Pie. That's got to be older than you are, Jason. Currently working on a game called Ashes of Creation using Unreal Engine 4. Oh, that sounds like fun. At least this way we don't need to worry about counting calories. Yes, I'm done with counting, Sean. Is one pie on top of another pie a pie sandwich? Oh, that's an interesting idea. I don't know. Probably. Dwight, massively online role-playing games. It is older than him, right? I thought so. Shoe fly equal temporary track around a washout or other obstruction, right? That was like those pictures I showed at the beginning. Let's see. Relay switches and cams. Humanity Junction. I think I missed that. Let's see. I get to tell the programs what I want programs to do and results what I need to get over and over and over and over. Are you saying the programmers don't listen to you, Steve? Heath is on the pre-microprocessor. I don't remember a name. It certainly could have had one. But that was, I was writing programs then. Wrote my first programs on key punch machines with punch cards. Only a couple of them though, and then we actually moved to real computers. So really, that's about all I had for tonight, folks. If you folks have any questions or anything else you'd like to discuss, speak up. Feel free to promote your channels. If you got anything special coming up, any contests, please let us know. And don't forget that the next Sidetrack Sunday will be on the Train Freaks channel. That's next Sunday, June 18th at 2021. June 18th, 2021 at 8 p.m. Eastern. I shouldn't have tried to read it. That was my mistake. But yeah, that will be on Jason's channel next week. So don't forget that. Vinny, good night. I appreciate you stopping in. John, what's the difference between an Arduino can do and what a Raspberry Pi can do? A Raspberry Pi is more of an actual computer. It runs an operating system. So there's more that you can do with it. But it's a bit more involved. I mean, I don't know if I should say that. It's different programming languages, but being that you can do more with it makes it more involved. Jason says, so which STS car? He's in favor of the wood chip hopper. Wood chip hopper certainly works for me, Jason. James Galton is 3 subs away from 150. If you're not subbed to James, go ahead over and check out his channel. Let's see if we can get... Thank you, Roy. You're right. July, not June. Let me just take that off of there. Anyhow, it's next week on Jason's channel. That's July 18th. And STS4 will be on Rick's channel. Ray will be on vacation, I believe, and he was not going to be here. So Rick's going to take over for him. See, Train Fan 120 recently came into a load of trains that I'll be selling off at some point. More info on that if you guys want. Yeah, absolutely, Train Fan. Let us know. There's probably somebody in the community that wants it. All right, Poppy won't be able to make the 18th. That's fine. Rick likes the center flat idea. All right, so we have wood chip and center flats so far from the Sidetrack Sunday guys. So anyhow, I don't know that I didn't really expect to. Oh yes, Rick has week 4. Okay. I didn't really expect to get an answer. I just figured if we could start the conversation, then maybe we would eventually figure it out. Rick, stop trying to talk everyone out of a tree-related car. Well, actually, the center beam flat is a tree-related car, since it would have wrapped lumber loads. There we go. Tom says timber. Right. Let's see. Center beam is lumber, so tree related. Exactly, Roy. And Rick's just confirming that. PLC or relay logic. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. But I was nowhere near close to coming up with that, Heath. Wood chip hopper's better. That's still Rick related. It's just chopped up Ricks. Dave P, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in, man. You made it here just in time to say goodnight. Hey, they were some really nice doors you were working on, Dave. On when you covered for Heath on Friday. You've got some patience, man, doing detailed work like that. I was impressed. I enjoyed watching that. I do a lot of scratch building myself, but and I've done things like that, but I don't really have the patience. I never did. Yes, chopped up bricks. Wood chip hopper isn't modern era, is it? How about a set of 5 weight test cars? There we go. That's a possibility. Yeah, we could certainly get everybody's logo on there and the Sidetrack Sunday logo. It's a marathon. I missed something there. Okay, let's see. Track cleaning cars for STS 2021. Clean up our act. Let's see. Yeah, Roy, you're right. As if that would ever happen. If it did, we'd probably lose all our viewers anyhow. Ian from Lehigh River's got a job Thursday night. 4 ricks snapped in half and took a service line out. All right, folks. Well, I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. Sorry about the glitches, but we can blame Heath since this was Heath's show anyhow. But like I said, thank you for being here. Don't forget next week, Jason the Train Freak. That's July 18th at 8, and he will have Sidetrack Sunday, and with a little bit of luck, it'll be from his new train room. He sent some pictures out to the Sidetrack Sunday guys, and they did a really nice job. It's I think the painting is finished, and I guess he's ready to start building a new layout. He probably has to clean up a little bit in there first. Well, thank you, Pappy. Good night. Good night, Heath. Dwayne, good night. Let's see here. Bob from PK&W, thank you, sir. I appreciate you being here. Thanks, Artie. Roy wants to know if Heath got that job. Good night, Joe. Thanks for being here. And Jason still has a 700 sub unclaimed prize to give away. So we get to have another bingo game coming up. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. Steve, I think the paint's already dry, so we're probably not going to get to watch that. Well, thank you, Tom. The background, that's really just the back of my office, and it's a good thing you can't see the floor, because that's pretty much of a mess. Thank you, Jerry. Have a good night. I appreciate it. Good night, Artie and Bob. Good night, Dave. You have the other set of doors built? Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing them installed on that. Dave was doing some really awesome hand-built wooden doors for his entry into Jack Jack's scratch building contest. Good night, Sean. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Let's see. All right, so I guess that's it. Good night, everybody, and thanks so much for being here. And we'll see you. Let's see, what is tonight's Sunday? So tomorrow night, I think we probably have Heath at 6 for Modeling Monday, and Tom will be on at 8 for Tom's Trains and Things. So probably see you all there. Thanks again. Thank you, Roy. Good night, JD. Good night, Sean, James. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.